Picture this, a king so powerful, so arrogant, that the gods themselves had to create a rival just to challenge him. This is the story of Gilgamesh, the ancient Mesopotamian hero whose quest for immortality became humanity's oldest written epic. In ancient Mesopotamia, there ruled a king named Gilgamesh over the great city of Uruk. But Gilgamesh was no ordinary man. He was a demigod, born from the union of the priest king Lugalbanda and the goddess Ninsun. Gilgamesh stood taller than any mortal, possessed magnificent beauty, and wielded uncommon physical strength. Under his rule, Uruk flourished. He built magnificent ziggurat temples, surrounded his city with towering walls, and planted orchards of rare fruits. Yet despite his divine heritage and extraordinary accomplishments, Gilgamesh had one fatal flaw. He was mortal. And he had another problem. His personality was as flawed as his body was perfect. The tyrant king power corrupted Gilgamesh absolutely. He became an arrogant, proud tyrant who abused his authority without restraint. He demanded worship from his people and ordered monuments built in his honor. Worse still, he claimed the right to any woman who caught his eye, whether she was nobility or already married. The people of Uruk grew to despise their king. In desperation, they turned to the heavens, praying to the gods to save them from Gilgamesh's cruelty and tyranny. The celestial god Anu heard their prayers and felt pity for the suffering humans. He ordered Uruk, the goddess of vegetation, to create something unprecedented, a being capable of rivaling Gilgamesh himself. The creation of Enkidu from clay. The goddess Uruk fashioned Enkidu, a hybrid creature, part man and part beast, with a hairy, primitive body and bull's horns upon his head. Enkidu lived wild in the forests and plains of Sumer. He ate grass alongside gazelles, drank from rivers beside lions, and became a protector of all wildlife. The animals knew him and obeyed him, but he knew nothing of human civilization. When word reached Gilgamesh of this mysterious wild man, he sent Shamhat, a priestess from the temple of Uruk, to investigate and seduce him. The goal was simple: strip away his divine purity and make him human. Shamhat succeeded beyond expectation. She fell deeply in love with the impressive Enkidu, and after 7 days and 7 nights together, Enkidu transformed. He became civilized, learning to wear clothes, eat human food, and understand human ways. It was Shamhat who told him about Gilgamesh and his reign of tyranny. And it was this knowledge that would change everything. The legendary battle, a great wedding, was about to take place in Uruk. As was his custom, Gilgamesh arrived to claim the bride before the ceremony. But this time, something unexpected happened. From the crowd emerged Enkidu, guided by Shamhat. He confronted Gilgamesh directly, condemning the disrespect shown to two people who loved each other. For the first time in his life, Gilgamesh faced someone who dared strike back at him. Rage consumed the king. The crowd scattered as the two giants faced off. Gilgamesh threw the first punch, and an epic battle erupted that would last 7 uninterrupted days. Houses crumbled around them as they fought. Each blow either warrior landed could have killed 5 ordinary men, yet neither would yield. As the battle raged on, something unexpected happened. They began to admire each other. Finally, Gilgamesh landed a clean strike and knocked Enkidu to the ground. But instead of finishing him, Gilgamesh reached out his hand and helped his opponent to his feet. Both warriors were proud of the magnificent fight. They embraced each other, beginning what would become an eternal friendship. Transformation and adventure. From that day forward, Gilgamesh changed. He became a more just king and stopped tormenting his people. In the years that followed, Gilgamesh and Enkidu traveled through unknown lands, having countless adventures together. They defeated monsters and heroes of all kinds, their names growing legendary throughout the ancient world. But one dark thought haunted Gilgamesh's mind. Despite their strength and their victories, they were both growing old. One day, they would have to face death. To immortalize their names forever, Gilgamesh proposed a dangerous quest. They would travel to the cedar forest and face Humbaba, a demon so dreadful that even the gods respected him. The demon Humbaba had never left his forest. He had committed no crime, provoked no attack. But that didn't matter to Gilgamesh's ambition. When they finally encountered the demon, both warriors were paralyzed with terror. They had never seen such a nightmarish creature. Summoning his courage, Gilgamesh attacked with his axe. After several attempts, he wounded the monster. Enkidu seized the moment, using a spear to deliver a fatal blow to Humbaba's throat. As the demon lay dying, he cursed them both, prophesying that one of them would die as punishment for what they had done. Though they had accomplished a great feat, Humbaba's death angered the gods. Still, the two heroes returned to Uruk to celebrate their victory. The goddess's wrath during their celebration, an unexpected guest appeared. Ishtar, goddess of love, beauty, war, and fertility. Impressed by Gilgamesh's strength and handsomeness, she attempted to seduce him, offering to make him her lover. But despite her enormous charm, Gilgamesh refused. He knew the truth about Ishtar. All her previous lovers had died horrible deaths. The goddess was furious at this bold rejection. She swore revenge. Ishtar went to her father, the celestial god Anu, begging him to send the most powerful creature in existence to destroy Gilgamesh and Enkidu, the Bull of Heaven. The Bull of Heaven, Anu sent the divine bull to Earth, and catastrophe followed. The beast brought 7 years of famine, hurricanes, and earthquakes. The city of Uruk faced total destruction. The people begged Gilgamesh and Enkidu to save them from this celestial threat. The confrontation between the two demigods and the divine bull shook all of Mesopotamia. Using the same weapons they had wielded against Humbaba, Gilgamesh and Enkidu fought together. And together, they killed the Bull of Heaven. In a final act of contempt, Gilgamesh cut off one of the bull's legs and threw it at Ishtar's feet as she watched from a distance the price of defiance. The gods were not just angry now, they were enraged. Gilgamesh and Enkidu had gone too far. The gods convened to decide their punishment. After deliberation, they decreed that Enkidu must die. He was the one who had held the Bull of Heaven by the horns while Gilgamesh delivered the killing blow. Within days, Enkidu fell gravely ill. He realized death was near. Gilgamesh became desperate. He summoned the best doctors in the kingdom, begging them to find a cure. But nothing could be done. Enkidu died in agony, delirious in his best friend's arms. Gilgamesh wept bitterly for days. The quest for immortality, Enkidu's death shattered Gilgamesh. For the first time, the mighty king truly understood the dread of mortality. The fear of his own end consumed him. He began a desperate search for the secret of immortality and a way to resurrect his friend. Gilgamesh traveled far across mountains and deserts, seeking Utnapishtim, the only man who had survived the Great Flood and been rewarded by the gods with eternal life. With the help of the boatman Urshanabi, Gilgamesh crossed a vast lake of poisonous waters and finally reached Utnapishtim's home. The plant of rejuvenation, but Utnapishtim brought disappointing news. Only the gods could grant eternal life. However, there was one hope, a miraculous plant growing in the depths of the sea. Anyone who ate it would be rejuvenated, their lifespan extended. Gilgamesh dove into the sea and, after a difficult search, found the plant. Triumphant, he returned to the surface and began his journey home. He stopped at a lake to bathe and purify himself after the long quest, leaving the precious plant on the shore. And then, tragedy struck. A common snake, attracted by the plant's sweet smell, slithered out and devoured it. By the time Gilgamesh noticed, it was too late. All he found was the snake's shed skin, proof that the creature had rejuvenated itself. The plant was gone. His last hope for immortality had vanished. The true legacy standing there on that shore, having lost everything, Gilgamesh finally understood the truth. No man, no matter how strong or rich, can defeat death. He had to accept his mortality. Gilgamesh returned to Uruk, but this time he saw his city with new eyes. For the first time, he truly noticed how magnificent and enduring it was. His legacy as a good king, the walls he had built, the temples he had raised, these would outlast him. This was the closest thing to immortality any mortal could achieve in his final days. Gilgamesh made one last decision. He would draft his story on clay tablets, preserving it for all time. And so the names of Gilgamesh and Enkidu, along with their great adventures, were etched into history forever, making theirs the oldest hero's journey ever recorded. The Epic of Gilgamesh reminds us that true immortality isn't found in magic plants or divine intervention. It's found in the legacy we leave behind, the lives we touch, and the stories worth telling long